In this video, we're going to be considering how one links to social media, things like Facebook and Twitter. There are a couple of ways that you can add link buttons, like buttons and links to social media from your website. The first is to do it individually. So, for example, if you want a like button for Facebook, you can go to the Facebook developers homepage and take a look at what they provide. And they'll provide code for you and instructions on how to use it. In this case, there's a warning here about like buttons implemented before November 7th. So they're constantly changing the code. When new versions of HTML like HTML5 come out, they add the ability to incorporate their buttons into different flavors of HTML. This gets to be kind of time consuming, and you've got to stay on top of it, because unless you're paying attention to all of the various services that you have linked to, they may change and you might not know, and you don't want it to be a surprise, especially if you're doing work for clients. The other way is to use a service that combines all the different social media services, and we're going to be using a service called Add This. And Add This gives you the ability to combine different services into one piece of code. And in this case, I've got links to Twitter and Facebook and Gmail and print, and more options here. As well, I have links up in the top right, and these are follow buttons. So to work with Add This, first of all, you have to have an account with Add This, and it's free. So you'll all be setting up your own accounts, and once you do that, this is the page you go to. It's the Get the Code page, and you're going to choose a new service by Add This. This is new over the past 6 months. It's called Smart Layers, and this is the best way to use Add This for your website. It's very, very simple. First thing you'll do is, under the Get the Code tab, is you're going to turn on the follow and the share areas. The follow buttons are here, and you've got a nice mock-up of a typical site, and the follow buttons are in the upper right, and the share buttons are on the left. And you can turn these on and off, and as you turn them on and off, you'll see that they appear in the mock-up. I've already set up some buttons. I've set up Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I am a member of Google+, but I'm choosing not to add this. There are instructions on how to find out what to fill in these fields. If you just hold your cursor over the question mark, it gives you instructions on how to find this little bit of code to put in to configure your buttons. If you have others, and I've included YouTube, Tumblr, Pinterest, Flickr, and so on. Now, if you have chosen certain buttons, then they will automatically get added on the left as share buttons, and the share allows you to turn on and off the share, and whether you want the position on the left or the right, and you can choose how many buttons you want. So if you only want one button, it will just give you the plus, and then you will allow the user to click on that and choose whatever services they want to choose. But in this case, we'll keep it on 5. Keep the theme and the profile the same. I'm skipping over these because these are a little bit more complicated in terms of what you have to do in your own site. This is what's next. and recommended content. And I've chosen to keep those off. And then we'll just click on Generate Code. And it's going to generate some code that you will copy and select it all and grab it. And then we'll open our website. We'll connect to the server. Now, this stuff can only be done for a server. You can add pages locally onto your hard disk, and when you look at the page, the Add This buttons will not show up. So you have to actually move the page with the Add This code to the website and have the server deliver it. So we are now in the website, and I can put this pretty much anywhere from body to body, and I'm going to, I think, stick it in here at the bottom of the footer. And just clean things up a little bit. Okay. And then we'll save it to the server. And here are our buttons. The like buttons here. Follow on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then, so if I click on Facebook, it allows me to share this particular page in Facebook. And this is a very quick tutorial on how to use Add This to add social media links to your website.